an important topic. This topic has to do, as usual, with Berbers. We're going to use the word Berber here to refer to Tamazight because a lot of people do not understand or don't know what Amazigh or Imazigh or Tamazight means. Basically, Berber is the word that was chosen for us by foreigners. That's not what Berbers chose to call themselves. Berbers prefer to call themselves Imazigh, Amazigh, and they speak Tamazight. And it has many different dialects. It has Tishlhit, Tarifit, Taqbaylit, Tashawit, Tamshakt. There are many varieties of Tamazight language. So I have received a question that goes like this. If all Moroccans are Berber, why do some Moroccans not speak Berber? Why do some Moroccans speak Arabic and not Tamazight? You can also ask the question in a different way, something like this. If all Moroccans are Berbers, why do some Moroccans claim to be Arabs? This question can actually be divided into two parts. The first part deals with ethnicity and the second part deals with language. So let's tackle the first claim. So again, if all Moroccans are Imazigh or Berbers, why do some people claim to be Arabs? Pretty much all Moroccans have a common ancestor, meaning all Moroccans are ethnically Berbers. Genealogy science, genetic technology, and DNA analysis confirm that the modern-day inhabitants of Morocco and North Africa in general are of Berber ancestry. So even after the Umayyad or the Arab invasion in the 7th century, the Berber ethnic and genetic nature of North Africa is still dominant. So recent studies make it clear that both Berber speakers and non-Berber speakers in Morocco, for example, all have a common ancestor. These studies actually make it clear that there are no significant genetic differences between Berber speakers and Arab speakers in Morocco. So what does that mean? That basically means that the true Arabs that invaded North Africa and Morocco specifically did not substantially contribute to the gene pool in Morocco. So population genetic studies, as well as historians like Gabriel Camps and Charles Julian, support the idea that the bulk of the gene pool of modern-day Moroccans, irrespective of linguistic group, is derived from the Berber gene. So in other words, basically the Arabs that invaded Morocco did not really make a significant change to the gene pool in Morocco, and the influence was not one of genetics but rather culture. So there was no population replacement but rather some cultural changes that took place, because to this day there are many Berber tribes and many Berber villages that actually refuse to intermarry with people that don't even speak Berber, let alone Arabs. So basically these studies say that the similarities between the Berber speakers and non-Berber speakers in Morocco basically suggests that Arabization was a cultural phenomenon rather than a replacement of the population. So now we come to the second question. So why do some Moroccans not speak Berber? Why do some Moroccans speak Arabic? Or do Moroccans really speak Arabic? This question can be tackled from an anthropological and sociological perspective. We have already established that all Moroccans are Berbers from a scientific point of view, and that is through DNA analysis and genetic technology. So let's now tackle the second question of language from an anthropological and sociological point of view. So from an anthropological point of view, Moroccans who do not speak Berber are basically Arabized Berbers who gradually forgot their language. The fact that some Moroccans speak Darija only happened in a process over the years, and it basically reflects the reaction of certain Berber population to the Arab invasion. While many Berbers fled to the mountains and isolated themselves, other Berbers remained where the Arab invader established their centers, and these Berbers gradually, either by choice or unwillingly, forgot their Berber language. So Berbers who lived and continued to live where Arabs established their control eventually and gradually adopted some Arabic words and mixed them with Berber words, thus creating what is known as Darija. So Darija in itself is not really Arabic, but rather a mix of loanwords from Arabic, Berber, French, and Spanish as well. It is what is known as a diglossia or a stratum. So as a student of linguistics, Darija cannot really be considered Arabic because it's a mix of a bunch of loanwords from different languages. Even the structure of sentences and the way words are pronounced are actually very influenced by Berber. So forcing Arabic as the official language and marginalizing Tamazight or Berber over the long run resulted in these people having to lose the Berber language. It is also mentioned in many places in history books that a lot of Berbers falsely claimed Arab ancestry in order to be accepted into tribe as well. Since Berber was being marginalized as a language, and at the time Arabic was the dominant language, a lot of Berbers had to basically claim that they were Arabs in order for their works, poetry, literature to be accepted. This also happened in Al-Andalus, where a lot of Persians, Berbers, and other ethnicities claimed to be Arabs in order to be recognized and accepted. So in other words, the influence of Arabs in Morocco was a cultural one rather than a genetic one. They replaced many of the Berber people's language, but they did not replace the population itself. Alright, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe so we can make more of these videos. I guess my dog wants to be on YouTube. Say hi, buddy. I love you, man. I love you, buddy. You're my best friend. Are you bored? My dog is a little bored. He has to put up with me making these videos, and sometimes he doesn't understand why I sit here and talk to the camera. But I love you, man. Oh, good boy. You're a good boy. I love you. You gonna go out? Huh? I have to take him out today because I made a promise to him yesterday to take him to the dog park, but unfortunately Christian and I went wall climbing, so we came a little bit late.